Alright, to start this video, I just want to go over my Swiss stage predictions real quickly. Um, so, first of all, as you can see, the prediction in the correct part of the bracket did not go very well outside of Secret. I was able to get 6 of the 8 teams to go through correctly, but I really blundered with the FaZe and W7M picks. I really thought that BDS would just go 3-0, but they felt like they had to lose in max OT to W7M to sell that one. So thank you, BDS. They pulled they did what everybody, what FaZe did to everybody last major, because FaZe lost their first game of Swiss as well, and then went 3-1. And then BDS did the same thing. They lost their first game of Swiss, and then went 3-1. Biggest disappointment here definitely has to be Dark Zero. After a great NA stage, they were neck and neck with a team with Sonics, who did qualify for top 8. And I thought with the bracket lineup they had, and I remember, again, I'm gonna bring this up again. If they didn't play Border against Falcons, I think they would have won the game. And I think things could have gone much differently for them if that happened. But really disappointing from Dark Zero. And I'm sure if you probably copy my predictions, probably also disappointed. But that's why I did encourage make your own predictions if you felt like it. And I also gave other suggestions other than mine in my video. I very much suggested picking a Virtus Pro. I specifically said in this spot here potentially. I felt, and I don't know why, but I just felt like after their EUL stage, where they didn't play particularly well in, they like barely squeezed into EUL playoffs. But then they made the major, but I should have predicted them because usually they always do well on LAN, and they are doing well here. Their only losses are to very quality teams. They lost to BDS, and I believe their other loss was to FaZe. So again, like I said, they lost to some very quality teams, which caused them to drop 2 games, but they cleaned up pretty much everyone else they played against. So yeah, the only one I got right being Secret. Yay. They dropped 1 game to Falcons and then decided they had enough. So they went 3-1. I got SSG right. I should have put SSG here. I really should have put the Brazilian teams in the first and second. I had both FaZe and W7M, but I thought, because based off of the predictions, the match generator, and I really thought that FaZe would drop that game to SSG, which they almost did. I really thought FaZe would drop that match, especially against a team like SSG, but they didn't. And W7M also barely beating BDS in max OT as well. Like, this would be completely different if those things happened, but just small little things just make Siege unpredictable. And then of course Liquid, they start off 2-0 looking great, and they go 2-3. Thank you, Liquid, for being disappointing. So unfortunately, that leaves me and anyone who literally copied everything I've done only with 12 points, which as we will see in the next minute or so, if you predict every single match correctly for the finals, is not enough for the battle pass. So I'm sorry if you followed along and completely copied. Again, I will say I did get the battle pass from the last major. They also had the battle pass at 15 points for the last major. So they definitely made it much harder. This major was definitely more unpredictable than the last one. The last one was very predictable for most of the matches. So yeah, but now we'll move on to the finals. So I'm gonna point out something very important here. If you remember last major in Manchester, that you could only predict the two finalists and who would win the finals, and I think it was for a total of like 3 points or something. You'd get a point per correct team who got to the finals, and you got like an extra point if you predicted the correct team to win. However, they changed it for this major, which gives an opportunity for 7 points. So throughout this entire thing. So as you can see, correct winner 1 point. So you can get a 7 total points, which isn't enough for the battle pass here. If I got all 7 right, I would be at 19 points. Unfortunately, just short of the 3 legendary alpha packs as well. But if anyone does have is watching this and does have a lot of points and is able to get to this free battle pass, I can give some suggestions, of course. I mean, and that is the best I can do as someone who is an avid enjoyer of CG sports for 9 years. So, oh, and again, one more important thing to pick out. The timer, it says quarterfinals predictions end. So you're gonna have to keep up with this and do predictions daily. As of course you can't predict the semifinals without knowing the winners of the quarters. So you're gonna have to make sure and come back every day. I'll try to update this every day, but we'll see how it goes with me being at the event. I do plan on making some stuff at the event, some content at the major, but we'll see what happens. So our first quarterfinal is FaZe Sonics. And genuinely, I tell you right now, none of these are easy to call. So I'm just gonna go with what I think is best. And whether you agree with me or not is totally up to you. So, FaZe Sonics. FaZe, a team that went 3-0 in the groups. They won 2 best-of-1s and then a best-of-3 against Falcons. Sonics, they went 0-2 in best-of-1s, but then they went 3-0 in very dominating fashion in their best-of-3s. They were all 2-0s. None of the matches were particularly close. And yeah, so Sonic's looking very strong in the best of threes. FaZe, even though they only play one best of 3, you can trust them to be good. They have been for a long time now. But for this one, I'm actually gonna go with Sonics. I think they've been, with those losses, I think they've learned from those losses they took in those best of 1s. I think they've applied that the learning to their best of 3s, and it showed after coming back from being down 0-2. And I think they'll compete very well against FaZe. I think Canadian knows very well how to compete internationally against Brazilian teams, and I think that'll be a positive for Sonics here as well. And I think the what they've learned from their losses and wins will help them a lot, and I think they'll be in better form because they've played more than FaZe have. FaZe have been off for multiple days at this point, where Sonics, I think, will become in fresher and feeling good about themselves after a stretch of incredible matches as well. So I'm gonna pick Sonics for this one. BDS versus Secret. Again, this is the EU. This is the Stage 2 EU Finals matchup right here. When they played in EU Finals, it went to 3 maps, and the last map went 8-7, and BDS won that last map 8-7. So it was a incredibly close game. And as I've said before this tournament, BDS, while still looking very strong, are not in that Esports World Cup form that they were in. They have not looked invincible as many um, people have been suggesting they are. I believe so. However, I still think BDS are the best team in Europe, and I don't think that changes here. I still think they'll be able to come out on top of this one, and especially it really depends. Adrian's got to like show up. He has been for his later matches, but if he plays like he did in those first matches earlier in the Swiss bracket, Secret are not winning. So yeah, W7 versus SSG, two teams with very distinct play styles. Um, I think both these teams really like a lot of the same maps. Particularly one of those maps being border. I definitely see a border coming out in this series. I think both these teams like that map. But yeah, I'm gonna even go deep into the map. Some of these I like don't even know what maps they'll play. Like yeah, well not that I don't know, but it's hard to think about what maps they like. But this game I'm feeling like a border and a chalet. Yeah, maybe no, maybe like a layer or something. I feel like this is just one of those matches where these teams are gonna. They're all three maps are gonna be maps that these teams both like because I think um, they both have very distinct play styles and they show it the most. Um, some play styles are like really easy to see and analyze, and some aren't. I find it's harder to tell, especially because some teams like to change their play style mid game, and that's kind of what SSG's is. They really like to adapt um, if they're not doing well. Um, I see a lot of what they go to especially after tactical timeout. They'll adjust the pacing of the game, and it's always what results in so many round wins after SSG tac timeouts. Um, for W7M, again, as I said, they're really aggressive playstyle, swing everything playstyle. It works really well, and with the talent they have, it's no surprise that it works well. Um, and what's been huge for them this tournament too is they haven't required a Volps masterclass to get them to scrape by games, um, which is good to see. Volps doesn't need to be like plus 60 for W7M to be winning games. So, yeah. In this match, I think it's very very close, but I think W7M are gonna come out on top of this one in a close 3 map game as well. Now Falcons versus Virtus Pro. Falcons again. This event is the first time I've ever watched this Falcons team specifically play, and they've been very impressive so far through their matches. Now, for the most part, the of the teams they've played, I would say the two best teams they played against are Secret and FaZe, who are both here, not on their side of the bracket. They beat Secret, they lost to FaZe. FaZe is the only team they lost to, which is a pretty good sign. If the only team that's beating you is FaZe, you're going to be a pretty good team. And you can say the same thing about Virtus Pro. Yes, they lost 2 matches in Swiss. It was to FaZe and BDS. So, and they gave both those teams a run for their money, of course, as I said in my recap video. VP went 8-7, 8-7 in 2 maps against BDS, and they also had a competitive best of 1 against FaZe. Big shout out to Robbie, especially on Falcons. He has been cooking everyone, but it's so hard to predict Falcons, man. Like, because they've been the biggest underdog of the tournament. There's no doubt about it. And I said like I don't want to predict them against them again, but they're also playing VP on LAN, and VP on LAN are no slouches. Um, and I didn't pick VP to get out of Swiss, and they did. Neither did I pick Falcons to get out of Swiss either, and they did as well. But um, I just feel comfortable in what I know about VP compared to what I lack in Falcons knowledge, because the only knowledge I have of this Falcons team is from this event, and it's some good. And the knowledge is basically that they're good, but are they great? Is the question. If they win this game, you can consider them great, I think. Um, but we're gonna have to see that. So these are gonna be my quarterfinals predictions. I'm taking Sonic's BDS to be 7 MVP. Um, again, thank you for watching. If you got to the end here, um, I will try to update my semifinals and final predictions when we get to that point. It'll be from a different room than this because I'll be in like a hotel somewhere in Montreal. So, and I don't know what I can bring with me because I'll probably be like recording on my phone or something because I can't. I don't have like money to invest in like a ton of recording equipment or anything. So it'll definitely be the budget setup. I'll bring like my laptop or something. Um, but yeah, again, thank you for watching. If you got to this point, and feel free to let me know if you would like more of these videos because I love covering CG sports and I want to keep getting better at it because I would love to be um, recognized as like one of the CG sports guys, at least on YouTube. That'd be nice. That would be cool. So yeah, have a good one.